Today we're going to be looking at a bat. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel Kazzalistic, and hi to my new subscribers, thank you very much for joining me. So today we're going to be looking at this little fella, little bat. I have put his feet on slightly off centre so that his feet are a little bit on the wonk. But nevertheless, that was my sewing skills, which are a little bit rubbish. And that's what he looks like from the back. I think he's super cute. Now, the pattern is from a magazine. So this is Love Crochet magazine. That's what the issue is, and it's the October 2017 issue, and it's issue number 52, and the magazine costs £5.99 if you're here in the UK, so you should still be able to get that because the next issue hasn't come out yet. I think next issue comes out next week, I think. Let me have a little look in the back, I'm sure it will tell me. She says, just on the back page. 24th of October is the next issue comes out, so that's next week. So I was right. That's good for my memory. So the pattern's from in here. Now the reason why I've picked this pattern is there's two things you can do with it. One is which is what I've done, which is basically to make it into an amigurumi. It will be an amigurumi regardless, so sorry Jan, no you're not a fan, but I know you like watching these anyway. But this little guy, you can make several of these. They've called it Love at First Bite, which is rather amusing. They're supposed to be vampire bats, I think. But these bats, you can actually make them into a garland. So you can make them as decorations. So if you can see, you've got that line going across. That's basically a chain. So you can attach the bats and basically make a bat garland. So if you're having a Halloween party, or if you just like bats, you could actually make this into a decoration. As you can see, they've done them in lots of different colours. I went for orange because it was something I still had to hand from the last project, which was the pumpkin bags, and I thought it was more kind of Halloween-y colours, orange and black. But obviously, as you can see, there's a yellow and a blue one. Now I haven't put this little decoration in the middle there, which is supposed to be, they call it a button. It's actually something that's within the pattern page. I can't really show you because I can't cover the whole pattern up otherwise. You're supposed to photocopy, cut it out and sort of put a thread through it and think, and I just thought for where I'm sending it, no good. So I didn't do that. But of course you could if you had the magazine to photocopy it from. Okay, so first things first, hook size was a 3.5mm hook. The yarns I've used, so for the bottom part of the body, the face, the end part of the arms, the veins, I've used, this is all Mariner double knit. So we go Mariner double knit. This is out of my personal stash. So I've used, they asked for the colour beige, so this was nearest I had to beige, and the colour is 035 Oatmeal, so this is a newer colour that I've had out. So I've used that one. For the feet and toes and the ears, the pattern actually called for grey, but I didn't have any grey in acrylic, so I used this, which is Mariner double knit again. And I used the colour C-057 Taupe. Right there. This is an older code, but I know they still do brownie colours. So for the wings and for the nose and little mouth bit, Mariner double knit in the colour C-045 Black. This is an older code, but it's a black double knit. We've all got that, haven't we? And then for the top part of the body and obviously the top part of the arms, This is the same stuff as I used for the Little Notions pumpkin bag in the last video, the Mariner double knit, and the colour is C-014 orange. And if you remember, they have changed their shade of orange. This is a slightly darker orange than the other one, if you remember from the last video. So that's the yarns I've used. I've also used safety eyes, which were 9mm. Super cute. They do actually tell you where to position the eyes. I think I've got one eye. This is where my whack whack oops came in. Well, I had a couple of whack whack oops because I've been in and out a lot doing appointments and stuff this week, both for my friend and for myself. So my concentration, because I've been picking the project up, putting it down, pick it up, pick it down, hasn't been the best. So I don't know if you look at it like that, can you see I've got one eye in a row above the other one. I miscounted on one of the sides, and I didn't actually realise that one eye was a row higher than the other until after I'd put the backs on, stuffed the head, stitched it up, and I just thought, do you know what? It's kind of funny. It can be a wonky-eyed bat. So it's not terribly noticeable from a distance. It's only if you get up close. So embarrassing. But hey, we all make mistakes, and you know, I keep saying be true to yourself. So that's part of depression. Concentration isn't always quite right, and reading patterns, I do misread them quite a lot. Prime example. So it does tell you where to put them. I just counted one too many rows on one of the eyes, but never mind. So construction is pretty easy. Most of it is in single crochet US terms, double crochet in UK terms. You start from, well, the first thing you do is the head. You start at the nose. It's just gradual, even increases out, a couple of straight single crochet rows, and then decreases. Obviously you're putting the eyes in and stuffing the head before you close it up. You then just stitch with a needle some black, sort of to make a sort of triangle-y shape. I didn't get it terribly triangular, but, and then a little line underneath for the mouth. The ears are worked in the round, and then you just flatten them out. It's just basic increases, flatten them out, stitch them together at the top, and then stitch them onto the head. That was quite simple. The body is started from underneath. Again, series of increases, all fairly even, sort of bog standard increases for amigurumis. And then all the way up, we change colours, obviously a few rows up to the orange, and then you decrease towards the top, and then stuff it. And I think you sealed it off. Let me just check. I can't. Do you know what? I only did this 2 days ago, and I've already forgotten. And I haven't even started working on anything else yet. My brain's all over the shop at the minute. Do I stuff? No, right. So you don't close off the body, you just stitch it to the head. That's why I was kind of like, I don't remember stitching it up, but I'm glad I checked. The feet are actually worked in the round. You do one round with single crochet. The next row there is one decrease, then another straight round of single crochet, then you stuff it. Trouble is, it makes it very difficult. I can get it to stand, but it's a little bit precarious, so I'm not sure that I liked stuffing the feet actually with hindsight. You then do a chain, slip stitch, single crochet, so you slip stitch into the first chain or the second chain from the hook, single crochet, half double crochet. This is American terminology, or double crochet, half treble. So the middle toe is a chain 4, so you have one extra stitch basically, and the outer toes are chain 3s, and you just do basically repeating that 3 times and seal it off, stitch it to the bottom. As you can see, I thought I'd got it on straight. It's slightly off centre, so it's slightly that way, but I'm sure a little kid's not going to overly really worry about that. The arms are started from this point here. Very small rounds, is a little bit fiddly, but it's straight single crochets up, a collar change for, I think it was 3 rows. Yeah, and that was straight single crochet, and then you don't stuff the arms, you just stitch them up at the top. So it's the same for both arms. The wings are actually folded over. So the wings are basically this shape. So if you imagine this piece and that piece together with them sort of like with that bit missing, gives you a rough idea of what the shape of it is. So you actually have a straight edge, and basically you start with these all start, everything starts with magic rings as well, I forgot to say that. So if you don't like magic ring, magic circle, whatever you choose to call it, cinch circle I think some people call it as well, you won't like this pattern. But for the wings you start with 3 stitches, and then you, as you get to the end of the row, instead of carrying on round like you would for normal amigurumi, you chain 1 and turn back. So you're kind of using it like rows, but you just get sort of an arced shape. So you've got a flat bottom and then sort of, I can't do it very well, I'll do it with my hand like that kind of shape. And then the last row you do chains and then work single, half double and half double again basically. And then when you're finished you fold the wings, each wing in half, stitch it down the edges together. So it's actually the wings are quite thick, so it gives it quite a bit of rigidity. The veins, I haven't got them as positioned as quite as well as they have on the picture, but they didn't really give me any specific. There were some instructions where to put them, but it wasn't as clear as I would have liked it. They're basically a chain 15 and a chain 10, and then just stitched on to the wings. The arms are stitched onto the wings first. Now, I say that, this is where I made another boo-boo with the pattern. I've actually stitched them on. It's not the neatest job in the world, but they're stitched on. This was when I got up and walked away from the pattern, went back to it, started sewing, thought I'd read all the instructions, and I hadn't. Actually, what I should have done at this point is single crocheted the wings, the arms to the wings. So mine's attached slightly differently to how it should have been, so it probably would have given a much neater finish. So that was my fault. The instructions said to attach the arms basically here, partly to the head and partly to the neck, part of the sort of neck and body, so basically where I've got them. It didn't say about attaching the wings, but I have actually attached the wings down to this point where my fingers are, just to give it a bit more rigidity, because I'm going to be sending this through the post, and I just wanted to make sure everything was secure before I post it off. So it's actually quite a simple pattern. It looks terribly complicated. The sewing was a little bit tricky in places, mainly with the arms and the feet. I found the feet particularly difficult to put on. That was the thing I really struggled with. But it's super cute, and of course if you're making a garland or a banner or bunting or whatever you want to call it, you wouldn't necessarily have to put the feet on because it's going to be hanging anyway. So basically if you're going to do that, you would just do a chain, attach it, I think it was at the wings. It doesn't really give terribly huge instructions. It says to sew them at 3 separate points on the back, 1 at each wingtip and also 1 centimetre down from the neck. So basically if you're going to do it as a garland, you're going to attach here, here and here with your chain, and that's it. So you can make quite a few of them, and I actually think they make really cute decorations. I thought, you know, if you're having a Halloween party for kids, I thought this would make a really nice decoration, not too scary, kind of cute, but keeps with the theme, and you could bring it out year after year. Or of course it could just be a little spooky toy for a little one. So that's pretty much it. There's one thing I will say with the pattern, on the feet, it said to start with 6 double crochets, because this is a UK magazine, so That's single crochet in the US. And then it said, but you'd have 3 stitches. So there was actually a mistake in the pattern that I found. So it should be 3 double crochet or single crochet, depending whether you're UK or US terms. So you would get the 3 stitches. So there was a mistake in the pattern. Now I have... Do you know what? My mobile never ever goes off, and now it's going off. I'm so sorry. There we go, it's gone off. My mobile never rings. I don't really use my mobile. The one day I don't have it on silent, it goes off. Typical. Anyway, so as I was saying, there is one little mistake in the pattern, so just be aware of that. But it is right at the start, so you can see the stitch count isn't right. You wouldn't be putting 6 stitches in a magic loop to then only have 3 stitch count. That just wouldn't make sense. So that is the one mistake that I did notice. So that's it. I hope I've explained that clear enough. Obviously I have to be careful of not giving too much of the pattern away, but enough that it gives you the rough gist of how it's made. But I think it's ever so cute. So this will be going off to Woolly Hugs, which is a charity here in the UK. If you've been with me for a while, you'll be well aware of who Woolly Hugs are. So this will be going off the Belarus Christmas project for a child that has basically no gifts for Christmas. So I thought this would be quite cute. I could see a little boy playing with that. Don't know, maybe even a little girl, because you do get little girls that like that sort of thing. So regardless, this will be going off to a little child as a Christmas present. So I will link, if you're new to the channel, I will do the links for the Facebook group and the website for Woolly Hugs. They have all sorts of different projects. Please ensure you read the instructions for when the collection dates are, obviously what yarns you can and can't use, just to ensure that your stuff is accepted. Yeah, so I'll just shut my magazine up before it flops on the floor and makes a noise. So that's it for the craft bit. I hope I've explained that well enough. It's a little bit tricky with amigurumis without going, you do so many increases, and you know, so I'll just try and give you a rough idea of what it is and where you can find the pattern. So I hope that was useful. Life update, there's really not an awful lot to tell you. I have had another health appointment for myself last night. Not the most pleasant of experiences, but it is unfortunately a necessity. So I am now got to wait for results for that. And other than that, there's not a lot happened. I did have something nice happen this morning. Ian, if you're watching, your parcel has safely arrived this morning. I was actually out, but my friend thankfully answered the door and took the parcel in. So thank you very, very much, but I will be contacting you direct to say thank you. But I don't know whether this will be up before I get a chance to message you. So either way, you'll get a message, so thank you. So I have some yarn to share. So I don't know when I'm going to do that. I don't know whether to do that in my next video, whether you'd like to see that. It's all the same brand, it's just different colours. It's not a massive haul like what I've had from Jan, but it is a nice amount. But I think I'm going to see what project I work on next. I might tag it onto a video and see. But thank you, Ian, very much. I really do appreciate it. It's beautiful yarn. It's all sparkly. So it's good for Christmas. Lots of white sparkly yarn. So I'm thinking something Christmassy might come out of that one. But there's some really lovely yarn there, so I've got that to show. Other than that, there's really not much to tell you. It's been pretty boring here. I've been very, very tired. I've been sleeping a lot. I've been oversleeping in the mornings. I've been just very, very tired. Yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes it's part of depression that you can have periods where you need to sleep a lot and then periods where you just can't sleep at all. So I think with me it's just exhaustion from all the appointments for myself, for my friend. We both suffer from anxiety, so try not to trigger each other off and support each other can be a little bit tricky, and anxiety, as a lot of you are aware, are exhausting as well. So just want to say thank you. I'm still getting messages in on the mental health video, so if you've shared, I just want to say thank you again. I'm trying to reply to everybody. I am behind replying to my comments. I will catch up over the next few days, I do promise. And thank you all for your questions for the Q&A. I really appreciate it. I've had some really interesting questions. It's funny what you guys are wondering about. So for instance, I've had a question about these here, my lights behind me, was one of the questions, and yeah, all sorts of things. So it's going to make an interesting, some of them are craft related and some aren't, so I think it's going to make it a nice interesting video. So I've got to write all the questions down so that I've got them all in one place, so I've just got to get myself organised before I do that video, so that will be coming up soon as well. So that's it for today. I hope you're all well wherever you are in the world. We had a very strange thing happen in the UK last night. It's Monday night. I was just about to go out to my appointment and the sky came over very dark, very grey and kind of an orangey red colour and kind of hazy. It was really weird, and I was a bit like, I don't know if I want to go out, you know. And then you have these stupid thoughts, is this the apocalypse? I even had that thought go through my head. It's like, because I hadn't seen the news or the weather for a few days, so I didn't know that we're getting the tail end of a hurricane. It's nothing bad. It's actually hit the north of the country more. It's completely pretty much passed by where I live, so don't worry, I'm fine. Nothing bad's happened here. And I went out to my appointment last night, and it was actually it was quite warm. The wind, it was a little bit windy, but nothing particularly bad for the UK. It turns out that it was sand from the Sahara, so that's travelled a long way, and smoke and dust from the wildfires, which I think were in Spain or Portugal or both. So basically all this stuff has travelled quite a few thousand miles and just happened to make us go, and it was right across the country. I know Sean had it happen down in Dorset. I'm in Suffolk. So there was quite a few. I noticed on my Facebook, I've got, you know, people that I've got dotted all around the country that I've met through YouTube on my Facebook, and yeah, pretty much everyone was saying, oh, the sky's gone weird. So it wasn't just here. It cleared away and we're just back to normal grey boring skies this morning. So yeah, so that was interesting. Other than that, there's nothing really else to tell you. That was probably the most exciting. Oh, I do have one story to tell you, which I'll tell you very, very quickly before I go. And I'm just going to say sorry to my next door neighbour before I tell you, but it was rather amusing. We had, on Sunday, we had tap, tap, tap on the door, but it was the letterbox rather than the door knocker or the doorbell. It's very weird. I looked through we got a spy hole in the door. I looked through and I could see a little child. So it's very weird. So I answered the door, and it was our next door neighbour's oldest child, and she was asking me to go into their flat, and I was like, I'm not going to walk into Mummy and Daddy's flat. You need to tell me what's wrong. It turned out our next door neighbour, the mum, the dad was at work, and the mum was stuck in the bathroom. She'd gone to have a bath or a shower, and the door got stuck. She couldn't get out. So obviously the children were panicking. They're both under 10, and yeah. So I had the oldest child screaming, the youngest child screaming because they were panicking, trying to barge the door. I couldn't do it, so my friend, she's a bit stronger than me, she actually managed to, she got a bit more weight behind her we tried to jimmy it open with a knife to start with. That didn't work, but we managed to get the door open, and yeah, we got her out. So we saved her. So I've promised her that I'm going to be ribbing her for a very long time about that one. So you don't have that happen every day, do you? So there you go, there's a little story for you. There's little strange things that happen in my life. So that really is this time I should say. I'm struggling to find words today, so yeah, well, I'm talking a little bit weird. Mental health's a little bit iffy today. I'm fine, don't worry, it's just concentration, memory and stuff that's playing up a little bit today. Yeah, so that's it for today. So I hope you are well wherever you are. Have you had anything weird or strange happen in your life in the last few days? I'd love to know if you've got any strange stories to share. So that's it. So I hope you're all okay, and you're looking after yourselves, and hopefully you're not getting too stressed about the impending C day. We've got to get H day out of the way first, haven't we? So yeah, so that's it. So until next time, remember to stay well, happy crafting, and until next time, remember to stay true to yourself. Bye.